health and peace and happiness for everyone. Ashreinu, how good and beautiful is our heritage. Parashat Noach, Tafshin Pei Bet. Most of the Torah and the Tanakh in general, actually almost all of the Torah and the Tanakh, relate to the story of Am Yisrael. What brings Am Yisrael success? What might cause Am Yisrael failure? At the same time, the first two Parshiot of the Torah, Bereshit and Noach, are about the creation and about humanity in general. One might think that this is just a technical issue, a stage we have to get through so that we reach the main point of the story, Avraham and his children. But I'd like to show through the stories of Bereshit and Noach that it's not just a technical thing to get to Avraham and his children, that there are important lessons that we learn from the stories in Parashiot Bereshit and Noach that will teach us about the meaning of the continuation of the story, which will focus on Avraham and his children. You can look at the stories of Bereshit and Noach from a human perspective as a story of trial and error. The Torah is showing us things that didn't work, so we will understand what Hashem did choose, how Hashem directs us to live in the world. For example, the Goyim, Bnei Noach, have Sheva mitzvot Bnei Noach. Humanity, human beings in general, are given 7 mitzvot. There are general mitzvot of emunah and morality, not to perform idolatry. They don't have positive mitzvot about avodat Hashem, not to perform idolatry, not to hurt other people, keep the world the way it is. But that is not going to bring blessing and tikkun to the world. You can ask, why were Cain and the generation of the Mabul punished if they were not commanded not to perform the sins that they performed? So some Mefarshim say that the reason is because when Hashem creates a human being, He instills with him in certain values. Human beings are expected to understand certain moral values on their own, but they don't. So the Torah is showing us that yes, you should understand them on your own, but nonetheless, you should be commanded. The Torah is needed for the world to command, to give us more clear directives of how a person should live in the world. And when we continue the story of Noach and his children, we see different kinds of human beings in the world. There are those who have basic morality, who respect their father and want to keep their father from embarrassment. And there are others who are corrupt. And so we see different kinds of people in the world. There are people who are corrupt, who are going to cause damage to the world. There are people who are okay, they're straight, they're fine, they have basic values, basic moral values, and they don't cause any damage to the world, but they are not going to bring the tikkun, the blessing that the world needs. The Torah says, Yaft Elohim leyefet, Hashem sees beauty and culture in Yefet, but Vishkon be'aholei Shem, Shechina, Hashem's presence, Kedusha, is going to come to the world through Shem and his descendants. Maybe instead of freedom without too many commandments, maybe we'll create conformity in the world. Everyone will be together, like in Migdal Bavel. That also doesn't work. People become too strong, they become haughty. They want to make a name for themselves rather than call out the name of Hashem. Maybe we'll build an ark and save a small group and destroy the rest of the world and start again from this small nucleus group that was saved in this box, in this ark. Hashem says that's a one-time thing. I don't want to create a world, destroy it, start again, create, destroy, start again. That's not a good solution either. Through all this trial and error, we come to the result of choosing a nation that will carry upon itself the burden to bring blessing and to bring tikkun to the world. This nation will be eventually given not only 7 mitzvot of not causing damage to the world, but much more, a much higher demand, a much greater demand, 613 mitzvot, which will teach us how to bring such good things to the world that it will be able to teach the world and to bring blessing and tikkun to the world. So the stories of Bereshit and Noach are not just a stage so that we get to Avraham and his children. It's a story that is teaching us, helping us understand why it is necessary and how choosing Avraham and his children is the way that Hashem is showing us this is what is going to bring, in the long run, blessing and tikkun to the world. This becomes our mission, Am Yisrael, to understand, to study, and to carry out all of these 613 mitzvot in a way that will bring light, that will bring blessing and tikkun to the world. This is our mission. Be'atzlacha. Shabbat Shalom.